Hello, everybody. A very good afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. I can see that some are online. That's brilliant. Really, really lovely catching up, seeing you all, and feeling this connection, which is just so amazing and so important to have. I'm just looking at some comments there. This is so lovely to see so many people from various places. I can see it's raining in the UK as well, which is a bit of a relief, given that I'm in usually sunny Southern California and it's raining today as well. Rainy, stormy, and cold, but good for the environment. So that's at least something. Wonderful having you all here, and I can just see there is one lady from Los Angeles. So just to mention that, my book is launching next Wednesday, so tomorrow week in Los Angeles, West Hollywood. And I was offered this beautiful space. It's a gallery for contemporary art and interior design. And they offered me to do a book signing there. I'll be saying a few words. And I'm so, so looking forward to meeting more people here. It is about time to do more, to bring more into the world. And the question is, what's holding us back? It tends to be fear. And I didn't choose the topic for today just because I flicked through my book or something like that. It's because I realized that in my current situation, being in a new country, um, not sure what's going to happen, fills me with a lot of anxiety. So feeling anxiety is just very, very normal, but it's also a problem, or it can be a problem, and it can go very, very deep. So this is why I thought today we look at the different aspects of anxiety, of worries, of fear, and do some exercises to really get to the root cause of this fear and overcome it. So we'll be doing some exercises together. And I'm just looking at some people here. This is so wonderful. Thank you so very, very much for all your comments, and thank you for being here. Thank you for being here so regularly. This is meant as the main connection point for us to bring more Reiki into the world. And when I say more Reiki, I don't mean just Reiki as a complementary therapy. I mean Reiki as a way of life, actually as a way of love. Because this is what Reiki is. Reiki connects us to the universal love. We can feel more love, we can spread more love, we have more understanding for ourselves and subsequently for other people. And this is what the Reiki revolution is all about. So thank you for taking the plunge with me today, because we are going quite deep into all this to find out what the real problems are. And I'm really excited about the feedback I'm getting. The feedback I'm getting for the book, I'm getting for the exercises, and I'm getting on this platform. So if you have any more feedback, if you have any questions, anything that you feel we should address in this weekly show, then please just send me an email, torsten@reikirevolution.com, and we'll incorporate that, because somehow there's more action, there's more drive when we do this in this live setting. I think it's just a really wonderful thing to be able to just put something like this on YouTube and reach a potentially unlimited number of people. Only that we need to reach a few more people, but we will. step by step, and it's wonderful to see so many people already. So that's great, and it's so fabulous to see that people are joining from all over the world, because that is the big problem. We identify with being from London, with being from England, with being from Europe, with speaking English, or with speaking English with a German accent, and originally being from Hamburg, and stuff like that. So we identify with these things, and then we meet other people, we meet other cultures, we um, are often surprised by what these cultures entail, and we often react with fear. And this is why the world is as it is at present. Everything in the world is a result of fear. The wars, the suffering in so many places, because we could help, but we don't do it because we are afraid that when we give, there is not enough for us. We first look at our country, we first look at our community, and only then we uh, start thinking about where else we could reach out. All this is a result of fear, of the weapons in the world. Why do we have a weapon? Because we are afraid. So if there wasn't fear, then there were less weapons. There would be less destruction. It's so everything, almost everything, can basically be broken down to being a result of fear or of love. And those are the two kind of primary forces in the universe. And I first uh, started to understand that when I looked at this remarkable book, A Course in Miracles. And they make it very clear there that we always have a choice. We have a choice of addressing things from a point of fear or a point of love. And that doesn't mean that we don't have to be careful. So to start with, there may be something that we need to see as a positive side of fear. I'm afraid of something. So when I cross the street, I'm afraid of being run over by a car. So what do? I look in one direction, I look in another direction, I look again in that direction, and then I make a move when it's safe. So the worries also help us to see potential dangers and identify them and act accordingly. And this is something very positive. Beyond that, fear can be a problem, and fear really holds us back. I would love to take the next step in my career, but I'm afraid whether I'm really good enough. Well, we are spirits in a body. We can do so much. We have guidance, we have help, but still we are afraid. We are afraid of all sorts of things because primarily we have had experiences in our past that were really unpleasant, sometimes really awful. So we have this deep rooted fear from experiences in our past, in our childhood, during our life. And so we now project that into the future. And the vast majority of fear that we have is or has almost nothing to do with the actual situation we are afraid of. It is a projection of a past experience. And once we understand energy theory, the fact that everything can change, we can realize, at least theoretically, that when we start something again, it may be very, very different. A great example is me being here in Los Angeles at the moment. I was here 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, and it was entirely different. You still had to, you were only let into many restaurants when you were vaccinated. And so that was all COVID, very, very, very strong at the forefront of everyone or everything. Everybody was afraid of COVID. And I was getting more and more afraid over these months I was here because absolutely nothing worked out that I had hoped for. Absolutely nothing. It was so weird. I had rented a place to offer some Reiki courses, and the place had closed because of COVID. I had planned to meet people and to make connections, and the people had disappeared somewhere. I don't know where to, but suddenly none of them was there anymore. So step by step, I realized I'm running out of time and nothing is working. I was very worried. I was also very worried financially because that was a huge investment and nothing came out of that. In the end, I just gave up. And once I did, once I accepted that, well, this is the situation now, there's nothing I can do, please universe take over, then the book started to form in my mind, and the channelings started to come, which was really very, very fascinating. So now, almost 2 years later, I'm back in Los Angeles. And within a few days, I was offered the book signing event. I'm only meeting people who are just so interested in Reiki. There are people asking for help. There are people asking for treatments and for guidance. So it's just, it's the complete opposite. So things can change. And this is what we need to keep in mind when we are afraid. Things do not have to repeat themselves. We change. And once we do, everything changes. So this is one thing, we often project things. But fear is a kind of constant in the universe. And that was so interesting that this was made so clear when I was working on this book, to just put that as an explanation in there why the world is as it is, why the world is basically this result of fear. The world is an exciting creation. And of course, we are both. We are a creation as an individual, especially in this kind of human shape, but we also are always connected to the creator. And it's not that we are here and the creator is there. We are one. So we are both. We are consciousness observing what we are doing, and we are doing it and experiencing it at the same time. And this went bigger and bigger and bigger, more and more elaborate, the whole universe. When we look at how it all developed, how the physical universe developed, when we look at the development of mankind, humankind, it's just absolutely fascinating. But the more we really dived into this deep experience of individuality, the more we identify with, I am an individual being, the less we feel connected and the more fearful we become. Because, of course, as an individual, we are very limited. We are limited in our body. And then this already starts on the level of spirit when we are in individual spirit shape, the level we come from, the level we move to again. But when we then jump into an incarnation, we do that through the womb of a woman, of our mother. And then we are born, and the umbilical cord is cut. And we are completely lost. So this deeply traumatic experience of being literally cut off from the person we were closest, we were one, we are part of, and suddenly we are cut off. And we don't just feel cut off from that person, we basically feel almost cut off from the universe. And from then on, we are this individual being. We do have help from our parents, we have love, we also may have some challenges in this setup and in this connection. But from there on, this trauma really unfolds. So we start with a moment of fear, with a moment of separation. And all fear ultimately is separation. Because once we realize we are connected to everything, there's absolutely no reason to fear anything. But of course, in our individual existences, there is a lot of fear. So this is it's not our fault. This is what I wanted to say. It's normal to be fearful. But then, of course, we need to see how we handle this fear in order not to hold us back from this incredible potential that life, that our incarnation has for us. And I think this is so strongly where Reiki can come in. But we all have individual fears, and we all have individual well, we have these individual kind of personalities. Some people love sports. I'm afraid of a ball. It's just terrible. When I play some kind of ball game, I try to escape the ball because I feel it can hit me potentially on my head. But then that means that my hands are never in the right place to catch the ball. So I'm completely terrible. So I'm not just afraid of the ball. As a consequence, I am afraid of ball games. And I'm afraid of being rejected because I can't do it very well. So there is just, it's like step by step, it goes further and further, coming from this weird inability. When somebody next to me throws a ball, the ball just goes somewhere where they had intended. When I throw a ball, it either lands behind me or a few feet in front or something like that. It is just absolutely hilarious or ridiculous. But it does bring fear. And the older I got, the more I accepted for myself, this is one of my many shortcomings. So I simply do not play ball games whatsoever. I may watch them if somebody I know is in it, but it's not that I sit there waiting excitedly for a football match to take off or so. But then that's me. But there is some fear. So there's always fear in our lives, and to a certain degree, we need to accept that it is there. But sometimes fear is so very deep that it stops us completely. And it may well be the fear of losing someone. It may be the fear of losing everything because we have already. We may be in a situation where we do not see any way out, financially, career wise, family wise, or illness wise. There may be a uh, an illness that we have or somebody around us has that we just know will lead to significantly shortening the lifespan. Of course, we all know that it is possible to also overcome that, but we also know that many people pass away very young. So these things happen. Of course, that fills us with fear. So I think there are basically two steps we need to take, or three steps we need to take to deal with fear. And let's just start with the most profound, the deepest. We are eternal spiritual beings. We are both a creation and the source of creation. We have everything within us. So we are always connected. No matter whatever happens to us, ever, will we be lost? It may be an experience which is very, very unpleasant, but it's only an experience. It will have a beginning and an end. So beyond that, we are spiritual beings. We are connected to others. We are connected to the universe. We are connected to the source of the universe. And this is in our heart. So for a moment, I would like to invite you to just become aware of this eternal being that we are. And I would just like to ask you to just bring your hands together for a moment and connect to Reiki. And then ask Reiki to help you find and feel the connection to eternity, to help you realize that you are an eternal being and that your soul can never be harmed. And then just place your hands on your heart chakra, or directly on your heart. And feel this connection to this gateway, to the seat of your soul. And allow this to completely take over anything, your fears, your self-identification. And just allow yourself to let go of anything that bothers you and just completely be this eternal being that you truly are. And then slowly come back into the here and now. Thank Reiki and open your eyes again. So this is basically what I call emergency Reiki. Whenever we feel completely lost, whenever we feel completely overcome by fear, not just knowing what to do next, give it to Reiki. Just place your hands on your hearts, connect to Reiki, place hands on your heart, and feel the connection and let Reiki take over. This is the perfect way of aligning with your true self, with your path, with the universe. And I just see a question here, which is, does one need to study or remember the correct names and use the symbols during the Reiki session in order to achieve the best possible outcome? Well, for this simple exercise, definitely not. But when we become aware that Reiki works on physical help and physical healing, when we become aware that Reiki brings intuition and guidance and helps to reduce stress, and that Reiki connects us with ourselves, with the universe, with other people and other beings, then we can go more deeply into this. And the telephone is ringing. So my apologies for that. I'm in a flat I don't know very well, so I don't quite know what to do. I assume I just let it ring. So please overhear that. So when we become aware that this uh, that Reiki works on these different levels, we can use these symbols to just help us focus on these levels, on connection, on intuition, guidance, harmony, and on physical healing, and on silencing the phone. Let's just see if that works. This is very odd. This is very interesting. So this is the wonders of a live show. There is a phone. Okay, well, something is happening there. Not too sure what. I hope this is now all gone. Right. Um, well, Reiki is calling. Yeah, something is calling. I don't know what's calling. It may even be somebody, some delivery. So anyway, this is life. This is just as it is. Where was I? At least I'm not afraid of that. This is the beauty of a live show. I think it was actually the delivery of my toothbrush, looking out of the window and somebody's there. I'm sure they dropped it. They placed it somewhere in a secure place. So being back here, being talking about fear, we can connect really deeply with the universe, with everything, and just feel the connection. But sometimes it's interesting that we react differently from other people. We feel this fear inside, and we don't know how to handle it. It's different from other people, so it's a very kind of unique kind of fear, and it takes over. It may eventually turn into some kind of depression because we are so afraid of certain things. And we all have this from different, uh, different triggers. It may be rooted in an experience we had. It may be rooted in our subconscious and we are not really even aware of it. It may be rooted in a past life. It may be rooted in an ancestral um, thing that happened in our family, and it's basically passed from person to person. There are so many ways for this. So I would like to guide you on an exercise to get a bit clearer about what individually what triggers within you the greatest fears. So I would just like to ask you to connect to Reiki once more. And then ask Reiki to help you identify where many of your fears are coming from, why you are often worried, depressed, fearful, anxious. And then just move your hands up to your third eye and see what comes into your mind. And then bring your hands back down in front of your heart chakra. And now ask Reiki to help working on this root cause, on this issue, on this trigger of so many fears in your life. And then once more, place your hands on your heart and just let it resonate. And once more, bring your hands together in Gasho, thank Reiki, and come back into the here and now. I just got so many answers. It was just phenomenal. So I have to sit down after the session and write it all down because that was really very interesting. So very revealing. So thank you for joining. It is really powerful to do these exercises together, whether in a one-to-one session or whether in a group session. It's just really important to connect and to also have some help and some guidance. And you do find in this book various exercises. It's 100 exercises in there about all sorts of areas in our lives that we may be struggling with. And I as every time I'm looking into this book, and I know that so much of the content is channeled, um, I find something that I think, okay, well, you've written it down. Maybe you should put it into practice in your own life as well. So I find these exercises really helpful. Sometimes when we are particularly afraid of a situation that we are in or that is about to happen, it may be a journey, it may be a meeting we have with somebody, it may be a presentation, it may be applying for a new job, whatever it is, something that is happening quite soon and that we are afraid of because we don't know how it's going to work out, how we will perform. Of course, it really works very well to just send Reiki to this situation. And that's the last exercise today. I would like to do this together as well. So I would like to ask you to just think of something coming up that you may be a bit anxious about, a bit worried about, not so sure, quite stressed about, or outright worried like mad. Just think of one situation that will be coming up. And then once more connect to Reiki. And if you've learned the connection symbol, just take a moment to draw this symbol. And set your intention to now send Reiki to this situation. Just open your hands and send Reiki in the direction of this imaginary direction of this situation. And then just take a deep breath and let go of your anxiety, of your worries. You've now given it to Reiki. And then place your hands together once more and take a moment to thank Reiki. And when I say Reiki, I basically mean the highest power, the highest level of existence in the universe, the level that knows better. And this is what I think we can really, really trust. And of course, this is why we are all here, because we are using Reiki, we get all the feedback, and it is just extraordinary. I had dinner here with a friend of my landlady a few days ago, and she has some knee problems. She's awaiting surgery for both knees, and it is incredibly painful. So while we're having dinner, I thought I'd just offer her some Reiki. So I asked if she wanted to have some Reiki. Uh, I could just send it over, and while we were eating, I was just sending Reiki. And then after an hour, I asked her to get up and just see whether it made any difference. The expression on her face was incredible. It really was quite hilarious. It was like, what's that? It really is better. So, of course, Reiki does work. And we get these experiences and this confirmation all the time. Sometimes, though, there is a bigger picture. There is a lesson to be learned. There is an experience to be had. So we need to accept that sometimes it's much more multifaceted when there is a situation. But Reiki helps, and with this trust, we can let go of worries. This is what Mikao Usui meant when he placed this at the very beginning of the Reiki principles. Just for today, do not be angry. Just for today, do not worry. Because worries keep us in the three-dimensional realm. Worries always and only ever have got to do with our three-dimensional existence. And once we realize we are more, we can overcome many worries. It's still normal to have worries and to have recurring worries, but to get this help with Reiki and to not let them take over and rule our lives, I think is a great, great step forward. So thank you very much for joining, and thank you for now joining the Reiki Share. Just letting go, receiving Reiki from everybody, sending Reiki to everybody, and let this be the powerful start into or powerful um, was it Reiki injection to take us through the rest of the week. So I always say that, but I think it's really important to remind us it works for everybody, not just for those who are now here live at the time of recording, but also for anybody who will watch a replay and join in using the replay afterwards. This is quantum physics. There is no time, there is no space. This is the level Reiki works on. So once more, when you're ready, bring your hands together, connect to Reiki. Just close your eyes and really feel the connection. And then either set your intention or draw the connection symbol with the idea to connect with everybody on this Reiki share now and everybody who will join in a replay later. And then open your hands and just send Reiki. Feel the connection with everybody and send Reiki to everyone. And at the same time, relax. Just lean back and allow Reiki to work. If there's a particular aspect, problem, fear you're dealing with, just set your intention that Reiki may help with this problem. just really become aware of the peace and the love that Reiki is. And of course, Reiki will continue working. So when you're ready, just bring your hands once more together. Take a moment to thank Reiki, and then slowly come back into the here and now. Sometimes you go very far in these Reiki shares. At the moment, I don't know where I was, but I was somewhere somewhere else, not quite here. So it takes a moment to come back. Well, thank you so much for joining. It's such a pleasure sharing all this, having you here. This is really, really wonderful. I'm not sure if I can put that in there, but let me just see whether there's any way I can show the address of the book signing. So we will just see. I think I will be able to put that in there in a moment. And then for those who are in Southern California, oops, that's not quite right. We will see. This is the amazing technology that I'm still not entirely capable of using. Let's just see. I think I should be able to just put that in here. So this is the book signing, book launch in Los Angeles, Wednesday week. Um, it's a bit condensed here, but it's on Wednesday the 29th, 5:30 to 8 p.m. at the B. David Levine Gallery on La Cienega Boulevard, which is really easy to reach. And if you are around, please join us. It would be just so wonderful to meet some more people in person and really bring more Reiki awareness into the world. So thank you for joining. And I will see you soon. The very latest next Wednesday. No, next Tuesday for the next Reiki show. So have a lovely rest of the day, a lovely evening, wherever you are in the world. And of course, I need to find the right button again that I need to press. There it is. So thank you so much. Bye bye.